Greetings and welcome to the Road to the Great Canadian Open Winter 2026. My name is Clarence and this is my video series as you follow me as I paint up my Brotherhood Without Banners army 1 hour a day, 1 day at a time. The whole point of this series is for me to help you. It's for me to show you how to paint an army step by step, day by day, hour by hour, using a fairly simple technique as Slapchop. So this is by no means an advanced painting guide. It's more of a get your army done on the tabletop looking decent kind of play style, or paint style I should say. The link to some Slapchop tutorials are below, but if you look up Slapchop on YouTube anywhere, you'll find a gajillion different tutorials, which are all excellent, I'm sure. So yeah, if we all paint our armies up, it'll look better. More people will want to play the game. Our community will grow. So let's all be great ambassadors to the hobby, and let's try and paint our armies up. So let's see where we're at today and what the next task is. So this is where we're picking up. The models are having some of their basic base coats put down. Last session we worked on the browns. We did the snakebite leather on the gloves, belts, back to the knees, and we also did the wildwood on the spear shafts. There's a lot of metal left in the model. We're going to try and do all the metal last. So I think today we're going to work on the grays. So there's not a lot of gray showing, but on the arms between the snakebite leather and the yellow, there's some under shirt kind of stuff going on, so we're going to paint that gray. We'll paint the shoes gray, and we'll see how much time we left from there. That probably won't take too much time, so I hope that we can do the skin tone and the facial hair, and if that's the case, we will pretty much be done barring the metal. Now the banner guy, of course, I could do his banner in yellow, and he's got like a tabard unlike the rest, which I'll probably paint in the off-white yellow, off-white color, the skeleton horde. So we'll start with the grays first, folks, see how that comes along. So 1 hour work starts now. Let's go. 15 minutes later, we are done applying the basilicum gray. It was really quick. Some models only had one arm that had some gray showing. So after I did that, I did the feet, and now we're going to move on to the flesh, which is just the faces. And then we'll do the beards. So that should be easily doable in 45 minutes. That's going to leave pretty much the armor left. And I think that means that to kill the time in the hour, we'll try and do the banner on the Bannerman. So we'll see you after we apply the flesh tone. 25 minutes later, we are done painting the skin. I'm surprised it took 25 minutes. Painting the actual skin, which is just the face, did not take too much time. What took the time was painting all their beards different colors. So I used wildwood for most of their beards, but then each guy that's a duplicate has a different colored beard. So for example, in this far row over here, the front guy's got a blonde beard, middle guy's got like a black beard, and the back guy's got the wildwood. So each guy's got a different beard. That's what took a little bit of time, taking out the different colors, making sure I paint the beards carefully, giving it a wash, etc. So we've got about, maybe, let me think here, 20 minutes left-ish. And for that time, I'm going to paint the banner and maybe the front tabard of the guy in the back here. He's got a front tabard, which we'll probably use the skeleton horde to do. So we'll be back with the banner done. See you soon, folks. 15 minutes later, we are done painting the extra details on the Bannerman. So I wanted the bulk of the banner to be yellow, as most of my banners are. This banner is actually quite detailed because there's different distinct chunks of it. So I decided to paint the background of it with the warp block green. Then I painted the body of it with the Nazdrag yellow, and there's this cool rose design because they're High Garden pikemen, which I painted with, I think it's voluptuous pink, and then I washed it. No, it's one of the pink base tones, and then I washed it with voluptuous pink. The wash water is watered down because voluptuous pink is a contrast paint, and it didn't look great afterwards, so I also went back in with Agrex Earthshade mixed with a little bit of Mephiston Red. So I also did the tabard with skeleton horde as well, and made sure I touched up any straps that I missed with snakebite leather. So all the details are done now at this point, and we're left with just the metal work. So we're going to call it a day here. We're actually a little bit early for once, but we're on to a major step, being the metal, so we're going to stop and leave that for next session. So thank you for watching, folks. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. Hopefully you're painting too. Let me know what you're working on. And again, please share the series with anyone who you think might benefit from a painting guide and how to paint an army. So thanks again, folks. See you next time. Keep the faith. Bye-bye. And we're back at X Planet Games playing A Song of Ice and Fire versus Dan the Man, the Canadian National Champion. We are playing Dark Wings, Dark Words. Let's take a look at the table here. And we're playing against Dan's Baratheons. So we got Commander Renly, what's the name again? Charismatic Air in Stagnites. We've got Robar Royce in Thornwatch. We've got Courtney Penrose in Rose Knights. Very good choice because he gives them attack reposition. Let's move a little bit faster. And we got Brienne, the Brienne that has Protector of Renly.
Yeah.
In Sentinels. This is Super Sentinel, in other words, because they have Sentinel and then she can also shoot afterwards, which is pretty cool. NC-wise, we have Marjorie Tyrell, we've got Olenna for the shutdown, and we've got Shay. Over on my side, I chose to use my Thoros list. So Thoros list is Sword Knights with Fortune Seeker, Thoros with Edric in Pikeman. I left Thoros at home on the paint table, so he's setting for Thoros right now. We've got Peasants with Tom Seven Strings. We've got Archers with Hot Pie, and we've got Gendry and Stormcrow Mercs. NCUs, I've got Caitlyn, Varys, and Ravella. So terrain-wise, Dan put down a stake, which made me suspicious. I went kind of safe and put down a weirwood. Dan dropped a a bog. So if you look at back, on my half of the board, we have a stake and a bog. So I dropped a corpse ball down to make the table asymmetric so that the choice of choosing first player or side was actually very relevant. And then for Dark Wings, Dark Words, we drew some pretty spicy ones for round one. So on my side, the active card is Control the Middle for 2 points. And for Dan, you got Tactics board gives your opponent a point. So normally, if a bad card comes up, you can cycle through by going onto the board, but doing so now will cost you a point. You can also sacrifice your commander's activation. So I put my knights down here because they might be able to get to the middle with the move and a march, which scores 2 round 1. Because you're not scoring the objective, you're scoring the cards, which are active round 1. So we'll see if what he does to react against that. He may take the board as in desperation. Better to give me 1 point than to give me 2 points, right? So that's a thing to consider. And in reserve we've got like engage more ranks and what's this one again? This one is any commander. Got it. Sounds good. All right, so that's the deployment, folks. Zoom out again for the overall view. We'll come back at the end of round 1. End of round 1. So what happened is I passed a bunch of NCUs. Dan passed 1, and then he sacrificed Renly's activation to let us go on the tactics board. I took the horse intending to get onto the middle, but Dan put 2 NCUs left, swapped out the middle, and he very cleverly pushed down the objective that was burn 2 tokens to score a point. Then with Shay and the envelope, he put down 2 tokens in the peasants, burned them, and scored 1. So he's actually ahead 1-0. Positioning-wise, Thornwatch came down for this objective. They're coming down the middle. He tacked Repo to come up a little bit. On my side here, Gendry came up to go for that objective here, and this stuff's coming this way. These knights swung over that way. I have the march card in my hand. Dan can't stop, so there's no harm in me telling him. And my goal is to march down this way and to try to corner the crossbows and or the Rose Knights. Rose Knights are incredibly tricky to deal with. If you don't kill them, they'll just come back and cause wounds in the process. So they're a very tricky unit to deal with. All right, so it's 1-0 Baratheon. Let's go over to round 2. Alrighty, end of round 2, and Dan is doing a much better job of playing the scenario than I am. So I charged into here. He had Baratheon Justice and the correct zones. Lots of them dropped 2 more tokens on here, score a point. We were both jockeying to take the enemy deployment zone from the cards because of the mission cards. So he came here. I used the horse to block their march into my zone, so he backed up onto his points. My knights were always threatening to get in the end zone. I shot into here, did 1 damage, which triggered a sentinel, moved his golden company crossbows up, which charged them. I think Dan was thinking I was going to go here, which was originally the intent. But after he charged with the auto 6 from Courtney into my peasants, I realized that if I charged into here, I'd be hitting on 2s. Even though it was weakened, I think it's good odds to do some heavy damage in the flank, and then I'd go first, maybe swing again, maybe kill those guys. So the fact that he sentineled and then charged into here was a really good play on his part to tie me up. So he scored 2 points, and he scored 2 points off that 1 card. So he's at 4. I only have the 1 point here, so it is 4-1 for the Baratheons. Not looking good. I got a big hole to dig out of. And it's not looking great because this unit is rock hard. It's very, very tough for me to contest this. He's got that point, and I'm trying to rotate the
the mercs into combat, and then the archers onto the point so that they can also contribute as well. So let's see if I can dig my way out. Round 3 coming up. End of round 3, we had an action turn. So long story short, after some manipulation of the mission cards, I don't think... Oh, well, they mattered. So what ended up happening is the cards that came into play were the take the sword, bad things happen on each side. That's the envelope one. This is the horse one. And basically, Thoros drew the auto 6 charge, which got him into the middle. With gang up, it's 8 dice hitting on 3s with Sundering Vicious, which was pretty good. Archer shot into here, did some damage as well. They attacked, they bounced, but I was able to drag them down. He did a little bit of healing with the sword, but by taking the sword, he gave me 2 points and gave me some life back into the game. When they attacked the knights, they suddenly retreated out to give space for the Stormcrows to charge in. So Dan is up pretty significantly, 6-3, but 2 of his units are on death's door, so it's possible that we kill some units, have more activations, and outscore at the end of the game. We'll see if that happens or not. So it is now Baratheons going first. These guys are pretty scared. We'll see what happens. See you soon. End of round 4, it is a close one. So key moments that happened is Dan gave me a point by taking the tactics board to kill the peasants because it gave him a heal as well. The sword, though, let me burn a token from Varys to kill the golden crossbowman in return. Eventually, Thoros swung with the faith token and killed the Rose Knights, thankfully. And then that allowed Renly to charge in and kill 5 guys in return. Thankfully, with But the Realm Remains, they don't get tokens, which would have made a big difference. So it is currently 9-7 for the Baratheons. So he is guaranteed 10 points. There's no way I can stop him getting here. I will get to 8 as well, minimum. So it's all about the middle. If I lose Thoros, obviously I lose a point as well. I'm hoping with heals, etc., I can bring him back to health a little bit. And I could get points off the tactics board, but Dan's not stupid. He's not going to give me points off that, unless, because he has less activations, I can shift a card down through sheer luck, right? Which could also happen as well. If I go into his deployment zone, for example, that could be a card. So, was it drawing? It was drawing. Okay, so, but he's got tactics. He's got NCUs to burn that out. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so end of the game coming up. End of round 5, it was a nail biter. So I led the round with a lot of healing. I did a regroup and reform and burned a Varela token to bring this unit from 2 models to 8 or something ridiculous like that. So they did a big heal here.
2 models to full.
And then I took the Sword of Caitlyn, swung with the Knights into their flank. He'd pop Resilience, but I had Knights of Hollow Hill. I believe we're playing this right because Resilience technically targets me because I'm in the trigger text. So I canceled Resilience with Knights of Hollow Hill. They swung, killed a rank, healed more guys here. It came down to him swinging hard to kill my unit, and then he did pop 13 hits with a lot of rerolls. They stayed alive, thankfully, with the panic test. But because I have more activations, I was able to get the last say on pushing the missions down. And thankfully, 2 missions came up that were relevant. Hold the middle was relevant. He had to cycle that out. And get the enemy deployment zone, which we laughed about at the start of the round, was relevant also. So it's an 11-11 draw. Oh, it's round 6. There's round 6.
Oh!
Wait, is it round 6 or is it 10 and the game's over?
No, it's not over.
Wait.
We were equal. Right now.
We're equal, but
yeah,
the game might go on.
Yeah, game goes on.
Okay, we're gonna double check. All right, well, to my sadness, it turns out that when the scores are draw, and it's not round 6, you keep on going. So it's not looking good, because now I'm gonna be clapped hard. But here we go.
It's 7 right now. I still gotta eat dinner.
Okay,
we play a fast one? Yes.
So,
I mean, I play fast.
it was a crazy finish. Because the sword was a card that gave me a point, Renly in the Stag Knights activated and charged. Oh, I played Forgotten Fellowship to retreat, which gave me a heal, which is pretty significant, very clutch. He charged in and rolled decent, but I rolled insane saves. Instead of failing a third, I made 2/3 saves. So that was a really big swing as well. And because of that, I survived, and then I was going to win on points on the table, essentially. They came forward to do a clutch last turn charge as well. Did a lot of damage, as you can tell, but didn't quite kill off the unit. So because he used the horse, he gave me a point. So the game is going to end 14-13, but an incredibly close game against Dan the Man. Thank you for playing. Thank you for watching, everyone. Till next time, bye-bye.